Hello.
Hey, how you guys doing? Right away before we get started, we are in a thunderstorm, okay?
I don't know what happens when we have lives that
The power.
the weather just goes crazy.
This time our power just blinked and came back on, but the internet was out for a few minutes.
And it sounded like our roof was coming off.
Yeah,
So
something hit the roof, and I don't know what, and I can't go check it right now, so I'll have to check it after this. But yes, if we lose power, we'll come back on it. We'll try 4 o'clock. It should be past way before then.
I don't know if God is trying to tell us something about doing lives or what, but it's got my stomach in knots right now.
If we don't finish here and we lose power, we'll come back on at the top of the hour, the next hour. So it'll be 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Central, and so forth. But it sounds like it's lightened up a little bit.
Oh, yeah, a lot.
A lot, actually, because this place was rocking.
It was pretty crazy there. Like, I don't know about this weather here.
Man, I swear, at 4:01 last time, that's when we lost connection. It was 1 minute into the live. Now what are we? Like 2 minutes before going live and we have no internet? It's like, well, ain't nothing you can do about it. I mean, what can you do about it? And it literally hasn't stormed like this since the last time we tried to do a live.
And that one was so bad. The damage, people are still cleaning up the huge trees that got dropped during that time.
We did have a tornado near us about 2 to 3 linear miles as the crow flies north of us. And it traveled in a northeasterly trajectory. So it started to move across kind of lateral to our position and then away from our position. But they're still cleaning up over it.
Yeah, there's huge trees that fell. And I'm used to hurricanes where you get notice that they're coming. So I'm not used to this tornado business.
Yeah.
And I don't particularly care for it at all.
You don't get any notice. That's the difference.
And the last time we were having a neighborhood luau after the live, and all the power was out and stayed out for
all the way till the next morning about 5:30.
Yeah. So everybody was hanging out in the street having this luau because there was nothing else to do.
Nothing else.
And then we ended up going out to dinner with one of the neighbors because all the power was out. You couldn't open your fridge or anything. So we still had a good time, but it's pretty scary, some of the huge trees that we've seen dropped.
Yeah.
And the damage from them. Some people lost garages completely. Some people lost part of their roofs.
And it wasn't even the typical tall standing pine trees that you think, they snap off pretty easy. These are huge, well-established 80-year-old oak trees that are being uprooted. They're just falling over in most cases. There's one really close to us where they're still cleaning up, but the tree was so big. Every time we drive by, it's like, holy, they're so lucky. Because it did hit their house, but it didn't.
It just did some roof damage on the side.
Yeah, it went right along the edge, and it tore off the meter box, and it did some gutter damage and some edging damage. But if that tree had moved even the slightest angle, it would have smashed that old house.
It really puts things in perspective and makes you talk to God quite a bit. Because, wow, in an instant, like a lot of stuff can change.
Yeah,
it's a little scary.
A little cray for a bit.
But it's got us all excited here. Like, you even say a proper hello to everybody.
There were some neighbors walking by, and I'm like, man, it's getting a little sticky because it was starting to cloud up and it gets humid, goes up. And she goes, yeah, well, at least it's not tornado. It's not a tornado. I said, yeah, you're right about that. But,
Crazy.
This isn't Tornado Alley.
Thank you, Lucy Lou.
But we are in a active tornado area. But it's not in the alley. The alley's more north toward Nashville and Memphis.
But at the luau, a lot of the neighbors said that in the last recent few years that it has picked up around here.
Yeah.
And I think that's nationwide. The weather is just very loopy, for lack of a better word. Things are a lot different for whatever reason. I know people will talk about climate change and this and that, or the government doing things with the weather. And it's probably honestly a little bit of all of that. So I don't know, just makes you thankful for things and Keeps you talking to God.
It was literally less than 10 minutes to go before the live. We're all set up, and it's like, oh, we're going to lose power.
Hi, Donald.
Because lightning hits.
And I'm like, what is going on?
Then the light blinked. I'm like, oh.
I'm like, seriously, should we not be doing lives? Is this the message or what? I don't know.
And our signal here is not really good enough to run it off you can run it off the phone if you're outside, but it's going to be hit and miss. You probably saw us 2 weeks ago when we tried to do it off the phone.
Yeah, everybody was getting bad cell service as well because the towers got affected from the storms that rolled through. Yeah. So it's just crazy.
So our cell service typically on a regular day, it's okay, 1 or 2 bars. In the cabin, we have an amplifier, so we get 3 to 4 bars inside the cabin. But if you don't have power, then the amplifier is not working. So you have to rely on air. And if you have a tower that went down or blinked off, it probably needs to reset itself. And so the signal was in and out, and that's expected with weather.
We're in Franklin County.
Yep, Franklin County. It's right on the Alabama border.
And we're close to Coffee County, too.
Yeah.
So, but we actually are in Franklin.
Yeah, we're in Franklin. When we go into town, when I say the town, we really have like a couple choices.
We don't have a battery radio, do we?
No.
I know I thought we did at some point, but
well, just for phone. But if your phone's not getting service, then
that's right. So it might be a good thing to invest in these parts.
Yeah, they have those little crank radios,
I thought we had one of those.
I don't know, but I don't think we're near the town of Tullahoma, and when we go to Tullahoma, that's the biggest town near us.
Oh, thank you, Donald. I'd love to try it.
When we go north to Tullahoma, then we cross over into Coffee County. So Tullahoma kind of straddles the border, but most of it is in Coffee County. And we have to, and then it's about 2 more miles to city center. So that's where the border is. Franklin County, the county seat is Winchester. That's another town we can go to. That's our county seat. That's where we go to get tags or license renewals and whatnot. But it's a smaller town than Tullahoma.
The tuba hunting is going a little slow. I haven't found any tubas yet.
Tubas? We're still looking for fishing gear.
I know. We really do need to find some soon, too.
There is a lot available on Marketplace. We just haven't pulled the trigger on it, either because it's a long drive or you're just kind of going, I'd like to do some research and find out what poles are good, what gear is good. I really don't know.
You better get it together because in July, my son is coming to visit and we're going fishing.
And I'm kind of waiting on him because he may know more than me.
Well, I wouldn't wait on him to get
here. Maybe we can go together and go get some gear.
Okay.
That's kind of what I'm doing. That's plan B.
Oh, boy.
I'm kind of putting it off.
Oh, boy. I don't like putting stuff off till
I know,
last minute.
I know you don't. You like to plan.
Ugh.
If it's, ugh. Did you ugh me?
I'm going to ugh you. But I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. He'll be coming next month for a week. So he's excited. He was just asking me we're supposed to be going to Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area next week. And
we know some other YouTubers were there a few days ago, but we were already scheduled for Pigeon Forge for this coming week. So that was already in the plan. And you have to kind of book your campsites out a little bit.
So he's been looking, he's had stuff popping up on his phone because, as soon as you start planning, everything for that area starts popping up and there's so many cool things to do in the area. He had stuff from Pigeon Forge popping up. There are these big balls that you can get in and go down the side of the mountain.
They have you going down these bumper stops down a hill.
And that's a roller coaster you can go on too. Wow. And then there's a mile-long zip line.
Zip line. It's like a mile long.
Goodness.
But it's $100 a person.
I do not have a coffee pot that takes pods. We are podless here.
No, we got to put the scoops in the top.
I used to have one of those. It was nice.
Keurig, yeah. I had them. They're okay for 1 cup, but we typically what we do is we make the 10 or the 12 cups, and then we pour our cups, and then with the rest of the coffee, we put them in. We pour it into like a thermal containers. for an afternoon coffee, and then we just reheat it.
For the afternoon delight.
So we can rinse out the coffee pot and put it on the dish stand. So that's how we typically do coffee. We keep our canister clean, and so because they're kind of hard to scrub clean. But we don't mind these mugs that we put them in getting stained. So we just pour it into that, and then we rinse it out, put it on the dish tray, and it's ready for the next morning. So is that TMI?
Yeah, usually. Brett's always about TMI. I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh goodness. So anyway, let's start over and say hello to everybody since we came rushing in with this storm.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for being here.
I hear a little more thunder now.
Yeah. Stay away. Thank you to all our subscribers. Yeah. I don't know if we ever seen any moderators on here. I thought I saw maybe 1 or 2 on here. I don't know.
And I know it's a Saturday afternoon.
And we don't ever do Saturday, but Brett really wanted to do it today because tomorrow we'll be super busy. So we didn't want to try to schedule it for tomorrow. We figured we'd throw everybody off their game and come in here on a Saturday like a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
Brought a storm with us and everything.
People can watch it on the replay, and that's fine. We appreciate you guys watching whenever you can watch. And so, so we decided to do a Saturday because we couldn't guarantee a Sunday time slot.
It's raining in Vegas.
Yeah, it's raining here. It's raining here a lot, but we haven't had rain in about 5 days or so.
Yeah, so be careful what you ask for.
Yeah. And, well, we did get a little bit last night, but it wasn't very much.
No, not like this. Not all the crazy wind and everything. Sound like the roof was going to come off, and I was like, holy cow.
Yeah, I'll have to go look at the roof after this, and I hope I don't see anything out of the ordinary.
I hope not either.
But it sure looked like something hit the roof.
Oh, I bet it's hot in Florida, Eddie.
Woo, I can't imagine.
I don't miss that.
No.
We still... when we're talking to people in Sheafland and whatnot, and we're looking at the weather and we're like, oh, it's hot here today. And then we look and it's, mid 90s there. And we're like, oh, goodness. Glad we're not in Florida this summer. Thank you, God, for that. So I've spent too many Florida summers, too many.
Yeah, they're hot. And they can be vicious thunderstorms too. But most of your damage comes from the hurricanes. But the good thing about hurricanes is that you get plenty of notice and you kind of get a tracking on where it's most likely to land. And then you can make a decision upon yourself if you're going to leave, stay, fortify, or whatever. But with tornadoes, you get a probable little area, but you get no notice.
Well, Nancy says it's beautiful in Western New York, so you're going to have to enjoy that beauty for all of us who are suffering in the rain or the stinking heat in Florida.
This rainstorm shouldn't last.
No, they usually blow through.
Again,
they usually blow through
very quickly. Yeah,
fierce and quick here, where Florida it could last a little while.
Yeah,
but it's getting used to different weather patterns for sure.
At least I get to test the rain gutter on the garage. I get to see it pushing water out like a water.
The weather has been nice this past week. We went out on the boat. We went out on the jet ski one day.
Yep.
So that was a lot of fun. I had a ball seeing how fast the jet ski went. I think I got it up to 50.
Yeah,
so that was
good.
That was pretty fun.
And that's an older jet ski. It's not a brand new one.
No, definitely not.
And it's not a high performance one, but it's a reasonable performance, a 130i.
Well, how fast do you really need to go, right?
I mean,
I really would like a second one, but
and the faster
I haven't hit the lottery.
If you haven't been on a jet ski, the faster you go, the rougher the water gets, the rougher the ride is, because you're going. So it's not really fun to go too fast on a jet ski, and we plan to use the jet ski to pull a skier. We haven't tried that yet. We do have the skis in the rope, and I have skied before.
I never have skied, so look out.
You're not going to go 50 on the jet ski pulling me, or I'm going to let go of the rope. So
I'm not going to attempt to go so fast. No.
It's more of a quick.
I want to get a tube.
You got to go quick to get me up, and once I'm up, you slow down slowly, and then that's where you ride.
Okay.
So, well, you'll have to.
I'll need some training
used to that, yeah. And you got to watch me in your mirrors too.
I really want to get one of those tubes. I know when we're out too, we see all the kids that are sitting on those couch those inflatable couches
Yeah.
and people skiing. It's a lot of fun watching. And Donald says it's sunny and beautiful in Michigan.
Oh, yeah,
So
it's probably
I
nice.
guess you
up
got to
there.
enjoy it there for us as well.
Hey, they say the roads in Michigan are terrible. I'm on a Tiffin Wayfarer Facebook group, and they talk about the roads in Michigan being horrendous.
Oh, that sounds nice, Star Chasers.
So is it just the highways that are bad in Michigan, or are the roads just generally bad in Michigan? Maybe they can let us know.
There's been a few places we've been with really. When we went to Chattanooga, there were some spots that were awful.
Oh, yeah.
That were absolutely awful. What about that one spot on the highway where you were kind of in between Georgia and Tennessee, and it was like this little spot, and it seemed like, I guess, neither state wanted to fix the road there.
Yeah, there's a couple spots that you look out for because you don't want to bottom out in one of those. But yeah, they can damage your equipment for sure.
So, what have you been up to?
Estate sales, baby.
Lots of estate sales. They're fun to go to. You know what I like?
And there's a lot of them here.
I know you like most checking out the houses, but I like looking at all the items and taking that step back in time and remembering when you were a kid and seeing all those familiar items. And then it makes you remember different family members, and it just brings back a lot of cool memories.
Yeah.
So I really love that.
I like looking at the properties themselves.
I mean, even if you don't find anything to buy, I think it's just like, it's almost like going into a museum where you're checking out all the cool old stuff.
And once in a while, you got to remember, oh yeah, we need this and we need this. So
I know sometimes I get so into looking at everything, I forget what was on my list that I needed. And we get home and I'm editing the video and I'm looking and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I didn't even see that. I need that. And so I'm like, I really maybe better go through there again after we're done filming, because I'm so just looking at all the cool stuff and talking about it that I forget that I actually need that stuff.
I need about 40 to 50 feet of Cat 5 cable. Now, we were in Supervise yesterday, and we went in there on a $9 day, and they had a nice cable. It wasn't listed as Cat 5 cable, but that's what it looked like it was. And it even had little caps on the end. It was pretty fancy cable, but it was 150 feet of it. And I didn't want all the extra. And I don't have the means to cut it and splice it and all that, so I passed on it. I really want to get a 40-foot cable so it's just the right length for what I'm doing and not have 100 feet coiled up under the house.
No pressure. No pressure.
We'll
Donald says it's all the roads.
All the roads. I can tell you why that is, but I'm not going to get political here.
Oh, brother. Nothing is perfect, that's for
States
sure.
need to invest in their infrastructure instead of themselves.
Yeah, well, no matter if it's whatever political party, everybody knows that there's a lot of people in a lot of places stuffing money in their pockets, and I don't care what side of the spectrum they're sitting on.
I made a general statement.
People get up there and get greedy.
I must say, and we've driven through a lot of states, and Alaska roads aren't wonderful either, but you understand it quite a bit because you get 3 to 4 months of construction to fix them, and you have all winter is messing them up. So you kind of get it. But Florida has some really nice roads, actually. They even have the reflectors in the roads, and I thought that was fascinating. I hadn't seen that before.
I hadn't traveled to too many places, so I just thought that was normal. But to find out, Florida's got the good roads going on.
Well, states where they plow the roads, they can't have those reflectors sitting up because the plows will break them all off.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
Yeah, I enjoyed riding a motorcycle in Florida because the roads are nice. You do have to watch out for deer in the evening and morning hours, but you have to do that here too.
Yeah, you do.
There's a lot of deer here. There's more deer here, actually, and bigger deer.
Yeah, and you went for a couple of motorcycle rides recently.
Yep.
We went to an estate sale on the motorcycle, which is a little difficult because you can't really buy much.
Well, we got some room. And we can always come back if it's something serious.
Serious.
And pick it up. Yeah.
But I do love going to the estate sales. Plus, you get to see a lot of cool people, because usually a lot of the same people go to the estate sale. So I love running into some of the people and getting to say hi to them. And
everybody's so nice.
They really are. Of course, you're going to have a couple grumps everywhere you go. That is what it is.
We
but
just
overall,
they came from Florida.
overall, most of them are super nice.
Super nice. Out of the way nice, almost.
Hi, Debbie. How are you doing?
Hey, Debbie.
Probably sweating. Yeah. Sweating.
She was saying it was like 110 in the trailer.
Not Deborah.
Oh, not Deborah. Wrong Debbie. Sorry.
But still close location, so I'm sure she can sympathize with that. What else you been doing? I'm looking at your little notes.
Yeah, we're looking at our notes here.
Brett made notes.
Yeah, because you don't want to get
lost
in space. Motorcycle ride?
Oh, it said McRide, so I thought maybe he rode to McDonald's and he called it a McRide.
MC, motorcycle.
I don't know your shorthand. So I was wondering why you didn't get me a hot fudge sundae if you went for a McRide.
As far as the court date, as far as we know, it's still on the 18th. We haven't heard anything different.
You get 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we talked about a lot of this stuff already.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we haven't even started packing.
Yeah, so we do have to pack, and there's kind of a strategy to that. If we're going for a week, which this is a week, then you pack for a week. So what does that mean? You pack fewer clothes.
It means it's a lot easier.
It's easier.
You don't have to pack the washer and dryer.
That's the biggest thing.
You don't have to pack as much food. Yeah. And I know we're trying not to eat out a lot. My family will be in town, so I'm super excited because my sister will be here, 2 of my nieces and 1 of my nephews.
Not here,
but in the Gatlinburg area, because they're actually renting an Airbnb and some of their friends are coming in. So we decided, hey, since it's so close, we'll go get an RV spot near there, about half an hour from where they're going to be. And we'll try to meet up and do some activities, maybe go on some hikes. There's so much to do around there.
There's a lot to see. You don't have to spend money, but if you want to spend money, there's plenty of things to spend money on.
Oh, for sure, because it's very touristy over that way.
Touristy.
So, and I haven't been over that way for probably 10 to 12 years.
It's been longer than that for me. I don't even remember anything. The only thing I remember is there being a sky lift that goes over.
Yeah, I've been on that. But I'm sure it's like totally different because 10 years time, a place can completely change. Yeah. So I'm sure it's just more touristy than it was before. So, but I'm excited.
And we're camping at a resort outside of the township. So,
and they're going to have a pool.
It should be
I can't wait to get in that pool.
It should be a 15 to 20 minute drive into Pigeon Forge. So we're kind of on the outskirts. So.
Yeah, and I don't even know exactly what we're going to be doing the whole time because there's so many different people and I don't know what plans they've made already. So should be interesting. Yeah. I know when I went before, I went for the whitewater rafting and that was a ball. But I don't know how the weather's going to be, if it's going to be rainy or what. So
yeah, we don't know.
We'll wait and see on that. But there's always hiking, tons of hiking to do, waterfalls and all that cool stuff. And I think there's a Publix near there. So I have a sneaky suspicion that there might be some Publix subs and maybe a Publix cake.
Yeah, because your family from Ohio doesn't have Publix.
Yeah.
And they miss Publix.
Yeah. Anybody who used to live in Florida, especially.
That's the one thing you miss.
You miss Publix subs and the Publix cake.
Yeah.
So I know for sure they're going to be getting all that.
No, it's not a Thousand Trails spot. We typically use the military campgrounds. We don't subscribe to any of the camping platforms. I think they're just really
But this time we're not staying in a military.
It's not. There's no military around there. So we're staying in it's a resort.
They got a pool. I'm excited about that.
Pool, yeah.
I haven't been in a pool in a while.
And I don't remember what we paid for it. We'll have to talk about that on another live. I'm not prepared to answer. Not that I won't answer. I just don't remember.
I think it was a little over 300 for the week.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is about what it costs. I mean, you always get a better rate if you're staying for the month.
Right.
But we are not.
No.
And we still need to do some planning for the future because I want to go somewhere. I know in July we're going to be going to Savannah for almost a week or about a week.
About a week, yeah.
And then I want to do a week somewhere in August and September and October, and I'm not really sure where.
Now, we've been to Savannah before, and some of them might remember. Do you want to tell them why we're going to Savannah this time?
Oh, yeah. Well, my sister and my two nieces have a Girl Scout event that they're going to visit Juliette Lowe's house, and the Girl Scout troop is coming down. So I was like, well, that's close to us anyway. And there's a base right there. So we can join up with y'all during that time as well. Because it's not often that they come down this way. And it's just coincidence that they're coming down this way in June and in July. So I figured we'd meet up then too and be able to go to some of the Girl Scout activities. Yeah. Brett might not go to all of them because he's not a Girl Scout.
Well, the women need to be with the women sometimes.
But it'll be fun because we're adult Girl Scouts. And
the founder of the Girl Scouts is in Savannah. So that's what's prompting the trip. The headquarters and Girl Scouts founder is in Savannah.
Yeah, so that'll be a fun trip, hanging out with all the girls and learning, because I was in Girl Scouts for many years growing up, and my sister is a co-leader in Ohio, so it'll just be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think a lot more girls and even boys in the Boy Scouts should get involved in doing those things, because those are just fun memories of when we went camping and doing all the little skits at the campfire and all that. Mm-hmm. It's a lot funner than sitting around like playing on your phone. Yeah. So I wish a lot more of the youth would get involved in that.
It's more fun for everybody if everybody's out playing.
Yes. And I always thought it was cool that the Boy Scouts, when they went camping, the whole family could come. Where in Girl Scouts, I don't know if that's changed, but it was just the girls. So, which it makes it easier when the whole family is allowed to come.
Yeah, the Boy Scouts would normally do at the end of the week. They would normally do skits. There's a campfire, but there's a skits, and there's actually a platform and a microphone and speakers, and they got stuff going on. It's really
that's what we did
fun.
too.
Yeah.
Especially when you had a bunch of different troops come together.
Yeah, and they're competing.
Yeah, and that was a lot of fun. I know even during the summertime, we used to go to, it was called Camp Nocatee in Lake Okeechobee in Florida. And there was a couple of summers that me and my sister got sent there during the summertime. And there was just hundreds of girls from all over the place. And it was so much fun. But I don't even think a lot of the camps get utilized anymore. It's just a shame.
I can't remember all of the song, but I have a song in my head when we start talking about scouting. It used to be Joe and the Button Factory. And maybe some of you can sing along or you can help, but it was something like, "Hi, my name is Joe. I work in a button factory." And you have to touch yourself in different places. And so you end up going like this. "Hi, my name is Joe."
Okay.
It gets hard. It's like Twister with music kind of thing. That's about all I can remember, but that's a funny.
Interesting.
There's a funny little tune that goes along with the Button Factory.
I had all my patches and everything, and I actually sold them on eBay about 2 years ago. And because I had a couple of tins full of patches because we were in Girl Scouts for many years. My mom was a co-leader. And it was one of the better times growing up that I can remember is when we were doing stuff in the Girl Scouts. So
when I was at Fort Campbell, I was an assistant leader of one of the Boy Scout troops there. And I got to go to one of the leadership training courses called Wood Badge. So if you're familiar with that, it's like for leaders. It's for leaders. It's like the highest training you can get. And some of it was kind of silly because you played little games around the table and you had to take turns being loud and silly. And I didn't like that kind of stuff. But when it got to the camping and building a tent area and you had to show them that you knew how to build a fire and forage and get stones and sticks and stuff, then I enjoyed that kind of stuff. And the hiking, I loved
you
that.
don't get silly enough.
Yeah.
I think you could
right.
use a little more silly in your life.
I like the outdoor stuff better than I like the indoor stuff. There was some indoor training.
Hello, Becky.
And so that's it on that, right?
I guess. I want to make some s'mores. She was talking maybe we'll get to make some s'mores because there's supposed to be a fire pit at the Airbnb. Mm-hmm. So
it's cheap to camp in
I'm
Savannah
down for
too.
some s'mores.
That's a $25 a night campsite, so I like that.
What towns do you think you might want to go visit in August, September, and October?
I don't know. I haven't really given it a whole lot of thought.
I know I want to go and check out Nashville.
Yeah, we haven't done that yet.
I still want to go check out Knoxville. We haven't even done that.
You'll be really close to that this weekend.
Yeah, but
this week.
I think it needs time of its own.
Probably.
I don't know what other areas that are close around here that I want to go to. Maybe something in Kentucky even.
There's a lot of caves in Kentucky. We never went to the Ark Encounters, but they want so much money.
Hi, Christy.
Like you got to pay to park, you got to pay to go in. I mean,
everything is a lot of money,
and it's not. Yeah, it's a lot. You'd spend a few $100s going there. I mean, it's like,
when you're living pretty much on a fixed budget as we are, trying not to have to go back to work, you got to be careful with your funds. So it does cost a decent amount of money to travel around and even stay for a week or a month here and there. And during the winter time, we're going to be pretty much camping the whole winter. So we got to keep that in mind. So you got to be careful with the activities because that money can really add up very quickly.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, when you go on these different adventures, when you're traveling, there's not a lot of interest in people watching those type of activities of people having fun. So a lot of people like the drama and so that gets a lot more views than the fun stuff.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. But if you go back and look at some of the stuff we did when we were in Key West, like I thought it would have been a great time. Hey, Jason, thanks for the 10, man. Appreciate you. Go see Tennessee football game.
That would be fun. Yeah, Knoxville in August.
We could do.
That would be a lot of fun. Actually, good idea, Jason.
Yeah, before I get off on a tangent, but the volunteer softball team did really well. They made it to the final 4 teams, and then they got knocked out. I can't remember who they lost to. Was it Texas? I can't remember. But anyway, then the men's team plays tonight, and I think they're in the final 8. But they have to beat Arkansas, and they're playing in Arkansas. So they call it the Fayetteville Super National or something like that. That's going to be a tough game for them to beat, and it's a best-of-3 series. It's going to be tough for them. Now, they were the reigning national champions last year, in case you didn't know or you forgot. But this year, they're not quite as good as they were last year. The pitching isn't quite as good. So they'll have to beat Arkansas in their home field in order to advance. But we'll see what happens. I'm rooting for them. It's number 3 against number 14.
How about them Panthers?
Oh, yeah. How about the Panthers? That's right.
That's the only sport I'm going to talk.
Can you believe the same 2 teams are in it that were last year, and they weren't even the top-ranked teams all season? They're like number 3. The 1s and 2s all got knocked out. And now we got Edmonton and Florida again in it. So they're split 1-1, and they go back to Florida is where they're at.
Love
right now.
them Panthers.
The first 2 games both were in overtime. Last night game was in double overtime.
Now, I do miss when I lived in South Florida. I was lucky enough to go to quite a few Panthers games, and that was a ton of fun. So I do miss those.
There's no love lost between these 2 teams either. I mean, they're smashing it. They're getting it done. No love loss.
Good times. I love going to sports games live, but I don't really care for watching them on TV. Now, hockey, I can watch on TV, but the other stuff, I'd rather just be there.
Yeah. I'd like to go to some of them. Depends on the venue.
All right. Well, we'll see what you come up with.
And I'm not even going to talk about Braves baseball this year. They're embarrassing. Their pitching is horrible. Every time you think they might get into a win, they're ahead in the late innings and they give it away. They're miserable. I think they're the fourth worst team in baseball. I guess they need to rebuild. But that happens. I mean, they're still my team, but they're not very good this year. So when they're not as good, I don't follow them that much. I read it, but I won't sit and watch a game anymore because it's disheartening, I guess.
I'm typing something in real quick for Donald.
Oh, what you got? Oh, okay. Oh yeah, we ain't got any moderators helping us out.
Nope, no mods are on today.
So
Gotta rough it, baby.
If you want to send us something, it's P.O. Box 54. Teresa's typing it out.
Ooh, if I can spell that.
P.O. Box.
I hit the wrong button.
Oh, well. Tullahoma T. P.O. Box 54. Tullahoma, Tennessee, and it's 37388.
There you go. See how much we need moderators? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm about ready to fall over in my chair and everything.
You about are. You up on the, oh, that's why.
Am I?
Yeah, you're up on the hearts there.
Oh, goodness.
There you go. Come down to earth.
No wonder I was feeling a little crooked.
So I got some.
Gotta have fun, people. Just gotta have fun. Life is too short.
Future DIY projects. I've got two, really.
Uh-oh.
Two big ones coming up. I'm not sure when I'm going to do them just yet. We need to replace the carpet on the pontoon boat. So it's 8 feet wide.
That's going to be fun.
And it's 18 feet long. So that's edge to edge. So we're going to replace the carpet, which is terrible if you've seen it, and replace it with a vinyl. So that means you need to take everything off the deck, which isn't going to be fun. And then we need to get some vinyl ordered up, which I'm pricing some, but we haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. It's between $400 and $500, I think, for the vinyl. But that'll be a whole new floor, and then we can put it in ourselves. And that really is the only thing wrong with the boat.
That is it. That is going to look great because the carpet that's on there right now looks so terrible. It's just like shredding away. It's really old.
There's a lot of runs in it. There's holes in it this big. I mean, it's down on the wood in some spots.
It looks ghetto.
It looks ghetto. It looks bad.
So I can't wait to get that replaced. It's going to be quite the project, but it'll be fun. You like DIY? He's been putting it off.
That's another
for over 5 years. So
yeah, I don't like that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get it done.
Get her done.
Another DIY project is where the storage underneath the staircase here, where you have the hot water tank in there, and then you have the washer dryer in front of it.
And if anybody remembers watching that video of us installing the washer and dryer, and Brett got trapped in there, so we had to pull it out, and then I had to go back in there, and I had to get on the floor and slither out, and it was quite a spectacle.
Yeah, there's no access.
There is no room in that room.
So we are going to cut a hole in the wall, basically. We're going to do it on the master bedroom side of the wall, behind the bedroom door, so you won't really see it. We'll try to keep the mural intact and maybe use some kind of framing so you can take it down and put it up. But we need to have access in there.
Yeah, because if anything happens with that hot water heater, we're kind of in a pickle.
Yeah, you can't get back there to it. So,
and then leaving for the winter time, Brett wants to drain the water heater.
Yeah, I want to drain the hot water heater so that I don't have to leave it on. I want to be able to shut everything off, the heat, everything off.
I mean, I'm surprised that there was never a little door or something put in before.
Yeah,
so
it's kind of weird.
It's kind of risky business there.
So that's something I need to do. And I need to get back in there and cut my way out. and I need to cut a hole first and scope the wall and make sure that there's no wiring back there before I cut, because you cut your wiring and it's going to be a bad day.
Oh yeah.
It'll throw a breaker, but you'll get a little shock and probably a surprise.
Faux show. You might get a new hairdo.
I think all the wiring is coming straight up through the floor, so there shouldn't be any horizontal wiring. It should just be running up straight through the floor. But we have to make sure before we cut. So that's not what I'm looking forward to.
So yeah, 2 not so fun projects that we've been putting off.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got to order up that carpet soon, or the vinyl. That doesn't have a deadline as much as the hot water heater does.
Yeah.
So
that has to just be done before we leave for the winter.
Yeah.
So we got a few months.
Don't put it off till the very end, my friend.
I know. Well, what else? I think that's all my notes.
Now you're just noteless.
Now
I know.
just noteless, yeah.
What else is coming up in the future? I think on the 17th is the next Otter Creek meeting.
A trap door in the floor. I don't know what that would entail. Underneath the house, it's very busy in that area because that's the center of the house. And you have the air conditioning units on this wall behind us, and it feeds right into there. And the electric box is on the other side of the house. Now, when I say it's across the house, that's not very far. That's probably 40 feet. So there's a lot going on right there under the staircase, under the house. There's a lot going on. And I don't know that you'd be able to really crawl down through there very well. I think there's only about maybe 2 feet of space. Because
I've never been under there, so I have to take your word for it.
On one end of the house, you have about 4 to 5 feet. And then on the other end of the house, you have about a foot. So it's on a hill. So in the middle of the house, you have about maybe 2 to 2.5 feet. So I don't like going under there. In fact, I hate going under there. You can't see very well. There's cobwebs everywhere.
Yeah.
But you do at least have access to everything from under there. But
there was a house we had in Florida that was old, that it was a 1930s wood house and in Ocala. And I had to go under there all the time to do different work and cut pipes. And it was always not so much fun.
Yeah,
so I definitely try to stay out from under this one. I haven't been under there yet. So hopefully that can continue.
I'd like to put a pit drain too, some kind of drain. I know they do it in sprinkler systems in cold weather. So when they're not running, they drain. But if I could put a drain at the lowest point, then all the water would drain out of the pipes. We wouldn't have to worry about them freezing.
Oh, I'm from Florida. I don't know nothing about that, my friend.
That's something I need to think about, because when you winterize, you want to open all your sink. You want to open your sink, open your shower, open your bathroom sink valves, leave them open so the air can get in there so that the water can drain, but you got to have a low point drain and then all the water will run out. You don't have to worry about it freezing then. That's the best way to winterize.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you don't know how cold it's going to get. Now, the coldest we got here last year
Alex.
was 8 degrees, but that's cold enough to freeze water.
Yeah. I mean, we had snow.
Yeah, we had snow a couple times, but not any real measurable amount.
Well,
maybe like that.
It was cool for me because that's the first time I've ever lived in any snow. So, and I don't want to live in tons of snow. So
I don't mind having snow now and then. It's pretty, but I don't want weeks and months of snow.
No, I don't think that would be fun.
It's not.
Of course, the first time it did snow, I was out there running around like a little child, playing in the snow. And Brett's like, yeah, this is great. I'm going inside. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just run around out here by myself.
In Alaska, it starts snowing in October, really, and starts sticking. It can snow in the summer there, actually. It can, but it won't stay. But it typically starts snowing and sticking in October, and you have snow on the ground all the way to April. So that's a long time to be snow.
Jason says, what's wrong with snow and cold?
I like it in small doses. I don't want to live in it anymore. I did like it. I didn't mind it, but Alaska just got real expensive. the food got expensive, and really for me, it was the last straw. I had an outdoor hydronic heater that heated the whole house, and the last straw for me is when the environmentalists decided that they did not want people in the attainment area, that being the Fairbanks, North Pole surrounding area. They did not want them to run their wood stoves anymore. And that was our only means of heat. I went out and I harvested 30 cords of wood every summer so that I could get through the whole winter and not buy any oil. Well, then they started banning them. Or if they started to smoke too much during the inversion, then they would come and cite you.
Smoking too much.
That's big government telling me what to do. And I'm like, you know what? I'm out. So that was the last straw for me. So we ended up, they started doing a wood boiler exchange program to try to get people off of those. And so I did. I turned it in. In fact, I turned in 2 of them. I had 2 different ones. And I had to put in, you also have an agreement. They give you a check. I don't remember what it was for, $8,000 or $10,000, but then you have to go and replace it with an oil-fired furnace, which can cost you $5,000 or $6,000 back then. So you make a little money, but you also have to sign a statement stating that you cannot go back to burning wood for 10 years. And that got passed on to the new owners of the house when we sold it. So they had to agree to that. Now, most people may agree to that. They don't want to burn wood. They don't want to deal with it. It's a lot of, it's a lot of work. And so we didn't have a problem selling the house for that. And I didn't think it would be a problem. But I'm not the one that wants to go pay $2 and $3 a gallon for oil when you're using 300 and 400 gallons a month. I mean, it gets real expensive real quick. It becomes more than your mortgage payment. And that's when I said I'm out. So that's the main reason I left Alaska. Otherwise, I'd probably still be there. I liked it.
We're so out of the loop. I don't even know what all the Muppet stuff is about or anything.
Yeah.
When I've told y'all before
sure.
that I don't really watch any of the channels, not because I don't like people, but because I just don't enjoy all the drama of it all, because it causes too much stress and anxiety for me because I've lived in that mess. So I know sometimes people ask different questions about this and that, and I don't have a clue. I don't know any Muppet stuff or
I've heard and
whatever's
seen it.
going on.
I look a little more at it than she does, but not much more. I give it a few minutes, like during a commercial or something. I might jump in and see what people are talking about, but I don't get the whole Muppet thing. I don't know where it started.
I don't know.
I have seen it.
We're really out of the loop.
But I don't know what it is.
The only time we ever know anything is if one of y'all send us something to tell us something about it. Otherwise, I don't know. Who do I follow? I follow him.
That's right.
Follow Jesus.
So, and here's the real of it all. I mean, really think about this. And this is a common sense approach. How long have any channels, including us, been talking about Otter Creek and the stuff going on there, Lynette and John? How long have we been talking about them now? Has it been 2 years yet? Going on 2 years, year and a half?
I'm pretty sure it's been over 2 years.
Let's just round it off. Let's say we've been talking about this, the different channels, batting it around for 2 years. What's changed? Are Lynette and Crook in jail yet? No. Have any judges found them accountable yet?
Yeah, too long, Jason.
Maybe the ones in Ohio, I'm hearing a little bit of accountability, but has there been any enforcement yet? Has anything happened to them yet? Nope. So how long is it going to go on, and what's actually going to happen? So the only thing that we really care to hear about, I don't care about the day by day, the back and forth, or the week by week and the back and forth, or even the month and month back and forth.
I'll just check at the end and get the results,
We want the Cliff Notes version, because all of that
that's
is just...
I'm not going to be in the weeds of it every day and let it be my identity and this and that. I'll check at the end to see what the results are.
Yeah, when we hear something when they go to jail, we'll probably hear about it from somewhere.
I thank God every day.
Then I'll be like,
every day that
finally.
I am not living in that mess anymore. and I do not have to be part of all of that stress and anxiety anymore. So there's no way I would tune in to something that God allowed me to get out of.
And the same thing with these other lawyers that are getting themselves involved in these cases. Where's the accountability? Even if a judge rules and slaps their hand with a fine, do they ever pay? And what happens if they don't pay? It doesn't seem like nothing happens. And we can talk about things happening. Oh, there was a judgment against ABC. Well, did ABC pay the fine? Did ABC go to jail? Did they lose their license? Nope. Then what changed? So that's my thing of it. I really don't want to follow every nook and cranny of the entire things because I'd rather be on the lake. I'd rather be doing our own videos. I'd rather be planning a trip. I'd rather be working in the garage. I'd rather change a flat tire than to listen to all this back and forth, back and forth.
Here's what the other part of the cup says. I only have one thing to do today. Oh, who's calling? Who's calling? And that's the only thing I have to do today. Follow Jesus.
That's a neighbor who's probably going to tell me about my roof.
Keeping it simple. Oh boy, I hope not.
I'll have to call him back.
Ooh, I don't even want to know.
Yeah, I'm scared on that call.
Well, on that note, you want to
let's
do some mail?
We got a couple mails.
Got a couple mails. Ooh, look at that mail Jeep come sliding in. Like that mail carrier who's got to be back at the office by 5, sliding in on 2 wheels, throwing those packages.
So these packages are from our friends in Alaska.
I love it.
And this is Jason's mom sent some gifts for us. She sent Therese a nice little hoodie with.
I love this with forget-me-nots.
Forget-me-nots.
I love forget-me-nots
flower
because that's Alaska's state flower, and they're blue, which is my favorite color.
And the earrings match.
And that's earrings and a necklace. I'm so stoked! I can't wait to wear them. I love blue forget-me-nots. They're so pretty.
So we want.
Blue is my absolute favorite color, and I love her hoodie. She gave me one while I was visiting Alaska, and it is so super soft. I love it. I wear that one all the time. So now I have a new one to wear. I'm so stoked because it's just so cute. And she is just the sweetest lady. I tell Jason all the time, he's so lucky. He has an amazing family. His mom is so special. That is, I don't know if you can see it very well. Go backwards a little bit.
Can you see the address? Right here. Ooh, I'm trying to get it focused in.
It's hard to get it. But that's Miss Betty, and she is just the sweetest lady. His whole family is amazing. He's amazing. They are just precious people, and I feel blessed every day that we got the chance to meet them last summer, and I love that we get to talk to them all the time. And it was just so sweet of her to think of me and send that. But yeah, she's sweet. And I told Jason he better give her a big hug for me.
And then she also
I'm getting teary-eyed just talking about them. I love them to pieces.
She sent something very thoughtful to me. It says Tim's Ford Lake.
This is so funny because Brett has been wanting a cup like that. And when he opened that, I just busted out laughing. I always tell Jason, like, they are the best gift givers.
So this is the design of the lake. This is what it looks like on a map.
Looks a little crazy. It looks like a bunch of lightning.
And I don't know if I can point out exactly where we are, but we're on the north side and we're right in the middle somewhere around in here. So it's easy to get to either side of the lake. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. And we'll definitely be using this probably this afternoon as I watch the Tennessee men's Vols team play Arkansas.
Yeah, and she sews up some great stuff. So if you're interested in anything, you probably could talk to Jason. But that information, if you can see it on there or look it up, I don't know if she has a website or anything, but she can sew. And she makes the coolest stuff. And they probably could ship it. But if so, you can always, if you want more information, you can always email me at Madam Mayor's Adventures gmail.com, and I'll get you that information. Or you can ask Jason. He's usually online. I know he is now. But she makes the coolest stuff, and they're just sweet people. I just am blessed to know such sweet people.
Yeah.
God is good.
And that's all we got here from the cabin. We're just living the lake life. We're enjoying each other's company and just trying to be more normal, whatever normal
And less
is.
odder.
And less odd. That's right.
Maybe even while we're in the Gatlinburg Pigeon Forge area, maybe we'll be able to do a live from there. We'll have to see how crazy it gets. I know for sure we're going to do some membership because we didn't even get around to doing one yet this week. So I know we're going to do one for sure. Maybe even tomorrow when we land at the RV resort.
We should land between 2 and 4, and that's why we didn't want to schedule anything.
Yeah, we can hop on with our members. We didn't want to be locked in, and then we're still traveling and didn't make it. So we need to get there first and see what the Wi-Fi signal is going to give us. And it should be pretty good.
It should be, but we need to find out what hit our roof, I guess.
And we thank all our members and all our subscribers. We love you guys. And if you're not subscribed, get subscribed. It doesn't cost anything. And you can get notified when videos are coming out. You just got to hit the all notifications button on there. And our memberships are low. If anybody wants to join the memberships, just click the join. One is $5 a month and one is $10 a month. And we love you all, whether you're a member or not, but definitely get subscribed so that you can get notifications.
Yep.
And we're going to have lots of fun next week. And I can't wait to share some of our fun with you guys when we make different videos or go live, because I love being able to bring you guys with us. Because not everybody watches drama. I know a lot of people like good, fun videos, and I'm glad y'all do.
Yeah.
Good taste.
Yep.
But take care of each other, and thank you for spending this time with us. It's super special.
Yeah.
And I guess we're going to creep outside and see what happened to our roof. Say a prayer for us, please. Hopefully it's nothing too terrible.
It sure made a big noise. It sounded like
it scared the dickens out of me.
The tin popped up.
Yeah, it really did. So I hope that didn't happen. Stay safe. It's crazy weather and crazy times. So show each other love and try to be thoughtful and slow down a little bit and enjoy what's going on around you.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Until next time,
thanks,
have
guys.
lots of fun and show each other love.
Thank you, guys. Peace out.